Our first guest here to discuss Comey's lying, leaking, and a lot more. Joining me now, former Republican Congressman from Utah, Jason Chaffetz. He is a Fox Business contributor. Congressman, there's still a lot to unpack about Bret Baier's interview with James Comey. I want to focus in for a second here. We're going to play a soundbite, and I get you to react to it, to an amazing, to me, admission of ignorance on Comey's part as to who funded the Trump dossier. Let me play the soundbite and then get your reaction. Go ahead.
When did you learn that the DNC and Hillary Clinton campaign had funded Christopher Steele's work?
Yeah, I still don't know that for a fact.
What do you mean?
I've only seen it in the media. I never knew exactly which Democrats had funded. I knew it was funded first by Republicans, opposed to Donald.
But that's not true.
I'm sorry?
That's not true. That the dossier that Christopher Steele worked on was funded by Republicans?
My understanding was his work started funded by Oppo Research, funded by Republicans.
So Free Beacon and said that they had Glenn Simpson and Fusion GPS on a kind of a retainer, but they did not fund the Christopher Steele memo or the dossier. That was initiated by Democrats.
Now, Jason, it's extraordinary to me that a guy who used the Trump dossier to get a FISA warrant, who paid the author of the Trump dossier thousands of dollars, didn't know where it originated. Isn't it strange to you?
Well, it really is stunning because it goes to the heart of the problem that this dossier was used to obtain a warrant to spy on Americans. And at the FBI, at the various highest levels, Director Comey, whose signature is required to do these types of things, still to this day is pleading ignorance and not knowing. It's really one of the first core questions you had to ask is what is the genesis of this and who paid for it? And for him to continue to plead ignorance, I think, doubles down on the allegation that he had no control of what was going on there.
Well, it's a question, I think, of whether it's pure ignorance or willful ignorance. I mean, it was not only clear now as to who funded it. There have been revelations in the Washington Post and elsewhere, but way back in October, 6 months ago, the Free Beacon, to which Bret made reference, said specifically, because remember, Comey said in the interview that Republicans started the investigation focusing on the Free Beacon. The Free Beacon had no knowledge of or connection to the Steele dossier, did not pay for the dossier, never had contact with, knowledge of, or provided payment for any work performed by Christopher Steele. With all this out there, and that very clear clarification from the Free Beacon, how could he make that mistake thinking that Republicans were behind the Steele dossier?
I don't know. For him to just, and he has to know that this question is coming up. It has been central to a lot of allegations against Director Comey and the FBI for months. This was not a surprise question. I thought Bret Baier did an exceptional interview, but this should not have been a mysterious question. And again, if you're using that dossier to spy on Americans, it's one of the first questions you have to ask, and it's just so fundamentally wrong and so duplicitous. It's where people lose faith in the FBI and in Director Comey.
Now, John Roberts mentioned Natalia Vasilinskaya. I always have trouble pronouncing the last name, but she's the Russian lawyer who met with Donald Trump Jr. She kind of lured him into a meeting suggesting she had information. But what is not mentioned in The Hill, which was the publication that acknowledged that she's been spying for the Russians since 2012, is the fact that before and after that meeting with Donald Trump Jr., this woman met with Fusion GPS. That is to say, she was meeting with both the Democratic operatives and the Republican operatives at the same time. Clearly, the Russians were just spreading bait around, trying to lure both sides in.
I think the report is clear that, look, meeting with this person was a mistake, shouldn't have happened. It was 20 minutes out of a campaign that lasts more than a year. But nevertheless, there's still no evidence of any sort of collusion or deal making or subversion here. And even all this flailing, the Democrats, even today, some of the pieces that you played in the piece just before, the quotes I heard, what evidence did the Democrats have to justify continuing to beat this drum? There is no evidence at this point.
Well, and again, the evidence, I would suggest, is much closer to the Russians working with Democratic operatives like Fusion GPS which the Democratic Party and Hillary campaign paid millions of dollars to get information. And clearly, Steele was using people like Veselaya, or however you pronounce her name, in order to get information. She was working with the Russians. If there was collusion, it was with the Democrats.
It is absolutely documented. You got to go back and look at Mark Elias, who was the general counsel, who was involved from the DNC, the Democratic National Committee, the Hillary Clinton campaign, what they did against Bernie Sanders, by the way, not related to the Russia instance, but this guy has been in the center of this. And then the millions of dollars that flows overseas to do what is actual collusion. And that doesn't get nearly the reporting in the mainstream media that it should.
It's mind-boggling. I'll be fascinated years from now to read historical accounts of this era to see how it all works out. Jason Chaffetz,
exactly.
Good to see you, my friend. Thank you. Have a good weekend.